Hi. And I bet that you did not know that Jesus basically trolled his disciples after he died and risen. And if you're confused, let me help you out a little bit. So one of my friends texted me the other day, about 3 days ago, and we were talking about YouTube ideas, right? And he said, Adam, you know Jesus basically trolled his disciples. So I said, what you mean, right? And he told me, go to Luke chapter 24, verse 13, and so on, blah, blah, blah. So I've been reading it, I was like, yeah, you're right. And today, I just think it's funny, also because of how Christmas is coming up and Jesus was born and risen. I want to talk about how Jesus trolled his disciples. So let's get straight into the good stuff. Luke chapter 24, verse 14. It was talking about the disciples. It was narrating them. As they walked along, they were talking about everything that had happened. As they talked and discussed these things, Jesus himself suddenly came and began walking with them. But God kept them from recognizing him. He asked them, Jesus, what are you discussing so intimately as you walk along? And as we continue to read, they become sad in the face and question this man, how he does not know what has happened. So Jesus continues to troll them by saying, like, what things been happening? And then they tell him about what's been going on and stuff. And then we skip to verse 25. Then Jesus said to them, you foolish people, you find it so hard to believe all that the prophets wrote in the scriptures. Wasn't it clearly predicted that the Messiah would have to suffer all these things before entering his glory? Then Jesus took them through the writings of Moses and all the prophets, explaining from all the scriptures the things concerning himself. So by then, wouldn't you think as well that they would have caught on that this man could be Jesus, because Jesus was talking about how he got beaten in the Messiah and how he would rise, right? Then finally, these people, they were blessed to have this man tell them about the stuff with the scriptures and how the Messiah, blah, blah, blah. So they invited him to dinner, and then Jesus blessed the bread and prayed, and then they finally recognized who it was, right? So I bet you're wondering, Adam, why did you make this video? I made it to tell you that Jesus was a funny guy. But no, for real. The real reason I made this video was a deeper meaning. So I basically made this video, how Jesus trolled his disciples, to explain to people out there that there are people in your life that might not be so religious, but you don't have to be religious to be saved, if that makes sense. Anybody that does not or has not accepted Christ yet into their life, they can still be saved, but you gotta do it fast because your time's limited. Unfortunately, I have to say that. But I made this video to say, watch for the people in your lives, catch on to the hints, have a wise eye, a righteous eye. Even in the Bible it says don't have an eye of darkness for just looking and thinking about stuff. It was your whole body, your whole heart, your brain, if it was all with darkness. So be careful who you're hanging around, who's in your boat. Catch on to the hints. And Jesus was a funny guy. God and Jesus work in mysterious ways. And thank God I can say that, because the past week, me and my family were informed that today actually, we did a play, and we were practicing the play, building stuff, rehearsing, and my dad was so excited to direct it. And my dad, he doesn't go to church, and me and my mom, we would pray hard that he would get in church and stuff, and God would work on him. And God was getting him in church with these plays and stuff, and I'm so grateful, because not everybody has the same purpose. His purpose was to do something else, and today he got invited to teach Sunday school to keep him in church and help kids like me and anybody else. So be careful. Watch who you're hanging around with. If there are people that's going to bring you down and hold you back from releasing your full potential of what you can actually do, then I hate to say it, but they're not the people you want to hang around with. You can try and change them, but most of the time it's not going to work unless God does something in their life. But yeah, Jesus chose his disciples. Make sure who's in your boat with you, if they're not seeking you down or they're helping you get along the way, if they're paddling with you. But yeah, God bless you all. Yeah. God bless.